Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me is a psychological thriller, prequel and epilogue to the first two seasons of Twin Peaks. Directed by David Lynch in 1992, it delves into the strange and surreal world of a small town. The film explores the mysterious and sinister events surrounding the life of Laura Palmer before her eventual demise, a high school student whose story lies at the heart of the series. With a mix of eerie, dreamlike sequences, unsettling characters, and cryptic clues, it serves as both an expansion of the Twin Peaks mythology and a standalone exploration of dark emotional depths. I will be analysing the fan confrontation scene, where Mike, the one-armed man, drives hastily to get alongside Leland Palmer and his daughter Laura, who are on their way to meet Bobby Briggs, Laura's boyfriend. Mike shouts accusations at Leland and exposes him. This intense exchange is highlighted by Laura's terror and Leland's panicked silence. This scene is built perfectly through the use of performance, sound, and editing. To start with, the sound already hints that something uncanny is going to happen. This is through the use of the auditory bridge and an L cut. This is a scene where the fan is first seen diegetically screeching with a mechanical hum and a gritty industrial timbre. Swerving towards Leland's car, and it continues to screech loudly when it's not in frame. It also makes the same noise the arm makes when he introduces himself.
I am the arm, and I sound like this.
This presents from the start when the audience first see the fan that something uncanny will indeed happen, and by reintroducing it as the sound of the fan, Lynch creates an auditory bridge between the physical world and the lodge spirits, reinforcing the idea that these forces permeate everyday reality. The soundscape throughout the scene creates a permanently intense scene. The intensity has already been created before Mike even starts speaking. The sound bridge is what continues this intensity. The sound of a fan horn and the engine to Mike's voice acts as a bridge, carrying the intensity across the edits and linking the confrontation to the broader narrative tension. The article Filmmaking Lifestyle reinforces this by saying that David Lynch utilizes sound design and lighting to create a unique atmosphere in his films. And in this case, it heightens a sense of fear within the scene. The confrontation, combined with Angelo Badalamenti's non-diegetic haunting score and David Lynch's unsettling atmosphere, heightens the scene's sense of dread and otherworldly tension. What adds more to the tension is that most of the sound in this scene can be seen to a non-average view of Twin Peaks as contrapuntal sound, which is where the sound contrasts the film's visuals thematically. For example, within the scene, Angelo's ominous rumbling score and the unnatural sound of Mike's voice and his van contrast the everyday setting of a well-lit highway. However, this contrasts a television series as the audience are used to the score repeating and the contrapuntal sound playing in strange scenes. Therefore, the continuous effect of the strangeness of Twin Peaks makes it a parallel sound, as over time the audience gets used to the sound placement within Twin Peaks. Finally, the sound creates a huge impact of the reveal, as when Mike starts shouting at Leland saying, "The bed will be torn, Mr. Palmer!" Leland starts panicking and keeps pressing down on the gas, which is synchronous to the scene. This is combined with Mike distortedly heightened voice and feels unnatural, which is paired with the things he is saying, which presents him as someone who is not from there. When Mike says, while shouting suddenly, all sounds around them become more amplified, showing the true impact of fear through the use of sound. These include Laura's high-pitched screams and the panic breathing connoting vulnerability, which also adds to the humane part of the surreal confrontation. Overall, the sound within the scene, through the use of amplified and layered sounds, creates a chaotic and overwhelming but immersive auditory experience and presents the collision between the mundane and the supernatural. As sound supervisor for David Lynch put it, Lynch always understood that sound is key to immersion. The intricate sound design sets the foundation for the raw emotions that unfold in the performances, amplifying the tension between Leland's panic and Laura's terror. The performance within the scene also stands out as much as the sound does. To start off, Leland, played by Ray Wise, presents his panic clearly through his facial expressions, as he knows he is about to be exposed by Mike. This is seen through his eyes as he doesn't look at Laura or Mike, just straight ahead, paired with him scrunching up his face and a slight quiver of his lip. Once again, when Mike says, Leland reveals all his panic in a scream of anguish as the truth is exposed. Ray Wise does a brilliant performance showcasing fear in a different way as panic from exposing truths. However, Laura Palmer, played by Cheryl Lee, showcases fear, but is seen to be frightened of the whole altercation together, and is presented as overstimulated. Within this scene, through the use of body language and facial expressions, you can see her slowly lean from the other two as her eyes dart between them with a sense of fear and confusion on her face. As the scene continues, she can be seen slowly starting to break down. Her head starts shaking as she tries to cover her ears, as she then lets out a high-pitched scream, yelling. Her facial expressions and body language present a feeling of uneasiness and overstimulation, as a lot of sounds and actions are happening around her, making it hard to comprehend for a teen. We can link Cheryl Lee's performance to the ideology of traditional families within America, also known as the nuclear family. This is because she starts being frightened not only of Mike, but she glances at her father panicking, revving the engine, realizing what Mike might be implying. This is through the idea of the hidden versus the ideal. The idealized image of a perfect American traditional family hides a world of trauma, abuse, and dysfunction, and how society often ignores the hidden horrors that take place behind closed doors. The family in this sense represents the oppressive nature of social norms that demand a perfect image at the cost of individual suffering. And when someone questions the structure of the family in this scene, Mike exposing Leland, it starts to break the family down, seen in both performances of Leland and Laura. Finally, the editing presented in this scene is disjunctive and intense. The intensity is caused by the fast reaction shots of Laura and Leland. From a YouTube analysis on the editor, Mary Sweeney, they stated that she has a unique ability to build tension. This is shown more from the lingering on Mike, reiterating this panic Laura and Leland have towards this so-called stranger. Moving on to the disjunctive side of this edit, can be seen through the match cut between Mike shouting and the dog barking. The disjunctive editing through the abruptness of the match cut is a classic Lynchian attribute. It can be seen to disrupt the continuity and unsettle the viewer, leaving certain things up to interpretation. As this article put it, David Lynch appeals to something that echoes in indescribable areas, which cannot be understood through words. Lynch frequently uses disjointed imagery or sounds to evoke unease and reinforce the surreal quality of his films. In my opinion, the abrupt cut to the dog might be meant to destabilize the audience, creating a sense of disconnection that reflects the dissonance between the physical and spiritual realities in the Twin Peaks universe. In conclusion, the chaotic fan scene carries intensity through the use of many attributes, but in particular, editing, performance, and sound is what makes for this chaotic, surreal environment Lynch created. It also shows Laura's fear, one of facing the truth, but also facing the supernatural too.